Welcome back to the channel, guys. Have a lot of requests for this one, so I tried to get this one out as fast as I can. This is VIN 1073. This is a 2016 1J7, which is atomic silver, with LA30 red interior. 90,000 miles, listed for sale here at the middle of February 2026 on Bring a Trailer in Spring, Texas, Houston, Texas area. Production statistics: 327 out of the 2,347 cars for the US, 49 everywhere except Hawaii were atomic silver. Of those, 166 had LA30 red interior, which is 7.07% of all of the US 49 production was this color combination. So like a 5 out of 10 for rarity, but still not a lot of them. For 2016, 198 out of the 1,417 cars were atomic silver. Of those, 99 had LA30 red interior. So 1 of 99, fairly common as far as GSFs go. Not like a 1 of 1 or a 1 of 3 or something like that. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. Carfax shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. Epic VIN shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. And AutoCheck also shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. So I think it is safe to assume this is a 2-owner, no accident car. Previous sales. So this first one on sale, March of 2016, $87,500 in South Carolina, and it sold in July 2016, so about 4 months for sale. Then it popped up for sale in November of 2018, certified pre-owned, $55,000 with 32,000 miles still in South Carolina, and it sold in 22 days, and it looks like the owner in North Carolina then moved to Texas in 2021, and then now here for sale by that owner in mid-February 2026 on Bring a Trailer with 90,000 miles. So as far as the price is concerned, based on a car with 90,000 miles, I would expect to see this car somewhere around $40,000 to low $40,000. There's several recent sales around this mileage that kind of would support that, like around the $42,000 to $43,000 range. So if you get it anything less than that, you're getting a pretty good deal. So, if this goes for like 38 or something like that, it does have a reserve on it. So, I would suspect the reserve is probably somewhere around $40,000. Now onto the photos. So there's a lot to unpack here on the photos. Of course, the seller provided like 400 pictures and they're all high resolution, fantastic. This is how you do it. So the first and foremost, the tires are 2020 date code. So they're 6 years old and you can tell that they have some wear on them. I would go into this expecting to have to replace the tires. When these cars come up for sale, they always need brakes and tires, so this is no different. Brakes. The front brakes definitely have a pretty good lip on the rotors. You can see kind of a shiny edge around them, so that's pretty indicative of this car is going to need brakes pretty soon. Also of note, somebody pointed out in the auction comments, the left front rotor is actually on backwards, which tells you that it's a right front rotor. So this car has 2 right front rotors on the front. There is a different part for each corner of this car. Left front, left rear, right rear. They're all different part numbers. So this car has 4 different rotors and they are directional. And so one of them is backward on the left front. But since it's about shot, time to replace it anyway. So it looks like this car has quite a few chips on the front surfaces. So obviously no paint protection film or anything like that. But if this car is like a driver quality, you're just gonna go get in it and add the miles to it. I don't think I'd even repaint the front end and put PPF on it or anything. I would just drive it as is. The front emblem on this is pretty foggy, and that's what I'm starting to see as these cars age. A lot of the 16s that have spent some time outside, that front emblem starts to get hazy, and you can remove it. It's not very difficult to remove. There's the radiator guard. You remove that with like 10 clips, and then there's just 2 bolts holding it in, and you can pop it out. You can polish it out or do whatever you need to do there to get it looking brand new, or you can replace it. It's not an inexpensive piece of plastic. It's like a $400 piece of plastic. So if it were me, I would probably just polish it and move on. Looks like there's quite a few scratches on the roof. So like somebody left something on it, stored something on it, what have you, but they do look like they're not very deep where they could be polished out. I have experience doing that, previously owning a detail shop. And so I think that the scratches that are on the roof should be able to come out. Onto the interior. Obviously the big thing is the wear on the driver's bolster. It's pretty significant, and that piece, in order to replace that piece, it's still available. it's about $1,100 to buy brand new from Lexus at the current discounted rate. Like the MSRP on that part's like $1,700, $1,800, but you can pick it up realistically online for $1,100 or so. And if you want to replace the bottom at the same time, it's about $700. So then you're looking at about $1,800 to replace the seats. It comes as an assembly. It's the outer cushion, so the leather, the cushion, and the heat element that's embedded in the cushion. All three of those pieces makes up the assembly. It doesn't include the airbag or anything, but that is something that if I were going to buy this car, I would probably replace both pieces. And looking at the passenger side, it just looks really dirty. And so leather is not very difficult to clean. If you have a high quality cleaner, it doesn't mess with the dye in the leather. And so I would definitely clean the leather very thoroughly on this. That's probably what it needs. It was daily driven. You can tell it was somebody's daily drive. And so it got dirty and it just wasn't clean. So all of that dirt is kind of embedded into the leather. You can get it out fairly easily, but it's something that I figured I would touch on for you guys, that the wear, you can't really fix the wear, but you can still replace the part. And while it's still available, I would recommend doing that if that's the route you want to go. And finally, the carbon fiber trim looks pretty good, except for the passenger front door delaminating. And it could stay that way for a long time, or it could grow. All it takes is one really cold overnight bit outside and it would delaminate the rest of the way. So something to keep in mind. You can send that part off to like SMA Fabrication in Florida. He can redo it for a couple $100. Otherwise that piece is like $1,300 to replace. But I would say overall, it presents very well. It presents well for a car with 90,000 miles. It was somebody's daily driver. This is not gonna be a showpiece. It's a great car to get into with a lower cost of entry and just go and enjoy it. It's an accident-free example. So this is a 2-owner, no accident, Southern driven car that has been used. And so the value will obviously affect that. You know, this is not gonna be a $50,000 car, but it's definitely going to be a quality driver. So with that said, let's jump into the service history. It looks to be very well dealer serviced on top of that. So daily driven car and it's well serviced, you know, all green flags so far. The first entry of note is in March of 2016. They noted that it was smoking very heavily and they found a leaking injector. So an injector that was stuck open. I have seen that in a couple other service histories, but I wouldn't call that common. Misfire on cylinder 1, they replaced that direct injector, that's like $1,000, but it's of course under warranty, and they replaced all 8 spark plugs as a precaution. So hopefully no cylinder walls or anything got washed out as a result of that. Obviously no rods were bent. You know, that could have ended very badly. April of 2017, they had a complaint about a fan belt noise, like a squeaking. And I would suspect that is the high pressure fuel pumps. They're mechanical pumps. They make noise like a chirping or a cricket noise. And they said like a fan belt squealing, kind of similar in that realm. But they said that there's nothing found. And of course they didn't, because that's a common issue on these cars. And it's not really an issue. That's just the nature of the high pressure fuel pumps. October of 2017, they installed a dash cam. October of 2018, at 32,000 miles, the JLB recall was done. That's the high pressure fuel pumps. And they had a sputtering issue that they couldn't duplicate. Said it like stumbled a little bit at just off of idle. So nothing there. November of 2018, certified pre-owned prep, and they replaced brakes at all 4 corners. All pads and all rotors were replaced along with all new tires. They also painted the front bumper. They wet sanded and buffed other portions of the car. They refinished 2 wheels, leather repair, dent repair, I would assume paintless dent repair, and remove wiring harness. I would guess that's probably the dash cam wiring harness that they installed. They removed it. That's just kind of my guess. December of 2018, carbon fiber trim on dash noted as delaminating. So they ordered the parts, and then a month later in January of 2019, they replaced both front carbon fiber dash pieces. So the left and the right pieces have been replaced in this car. Pretty apparent now when you see it, it's not delaminating again. This car had it replaced, no issues. June of 2019, they noted a humming noise from the engine and nothing was replaced. Probably the low pressure fuel pumps, but that's all they noted there. September of 2019, the KLG customer service program was done. That is the GPS location and navigation firmware update, so that's done. And also at that same service, the low pressure fuel pump was reprogrammed for making the humming or buzzing noise. So that's probably what those previous complaints were, but that was done and sorted. And they also noted that the rear axles were clicking when you put your car into reverse. And I have noticed that in my blue not this one, in my blue GSF, it does that too. And it was a complaint in the previous service history on that car as well. And I'm probably gonna do this because it hasn't been done to this car, but on this car on Bring a Trailer, what they did is they removed the axles and lubed the axle shaft splines where it goes into the hub, and they replaced the axle shaft nut. That's a tongue twister. And so that looks like that is what resolved it. And so I have seen that in other car service histories as well. So I guess it's just the splines are dry and they need some grease. Otherwise they stick a little bit as they change direction. So there's just a very minute amount of play. So that's probably what went on here, but I'm gonna go do that to my blue car here pretty soon too. At that same service, they also complained about the cooled seats. They seem like they're heating. And for any of you GSF owners, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The heated and cooled seats in these cars, they suck. There's no other way to put it. They're just not very good. And even when the cooled seats are on, it does feel like your back can get hot sometimes because it's just not moving enough air. And so they're just kind of poorly designed in that regard. And so that's a complaint you're gonna see. They can't do anything about it. May of 2021, 60,000 miles, the 60,000 mile service. Another green flag with spark plugs replaced at that service too. So just the green flags just keep on coming with this car. June of 2021, the 20LE01 customer service program was done. And that is the HVAC servo sweep, another name for it. And so they did all that. Maybe they were having some issues and hopefully that resolves it. April of 2022 at 77,000 miles, randomly blowing warm air, maybe the servos. They scanned and they found no faults stored, so there were not any known servo issues at this time. They also noted here, so at 77,000 miles, remember this car has 90,000 now, so like 13,000 miles ago, they noted that the front brakes were at 5 millimeters, so 2 millimeters is the end of life. The rears were at 6 millimeters, and all of the tires had 4 to 7/30 seconds left. Again, that kind of is in line with, I think this car needs brakes and tires pretty soon. So pretty evident, 13,000 miles ago, you add 13,000 miles, it's time for brakes, time for tires. And the last service in September of 2025 at 89,500 miles, an oil change, and they recommended a differential service and it was not done. They declined it. So what is not done? Front lower control arm bushings. That's always a big one on these cars. Check for inner tire wear. And the photos that were provided in the auction, they're not very good showing that. You can see the rears a little bit. So the rears have a little bit of inner tire wear, but the fronts, that would be the big one. See if it has any inner tire wear on the fronts. If it does, then you need front lower control arm bushings and alignment. And of course you need new tires on this car anyway. The other carbon fiber pieces that have not yet been replaced. So just the front two on the dash have been replaced, but the left and right front doors and the center console have not been replaced. We know that the passenger side front door is delaminating, so expect the other two to probably follow not too far from now. The ZLZ has not been done on this car. That is the cracked or deformed or sticky dash. And Lexus covers that 10 years from the in-service date. The in-service date on this car is July 23rd of 2016, so you have until July 23rd of 2026. So you have about 4 months left to get that covered. So if you buy this and it is even the slightest bit sticky, take it to your Lexus dealer and go have them replace it. The part is like $60 or $70, but it's like 6 to 8 hours worth of labor to get it replaced. And so that's something that I would definitely look at doing if you're gonna buy this car. As I touched on, brakes and tires. This car definitely needs brakes, definitely needs tires. It has old tires, it has worn tires, it has worn brakes. And so I don't see anything about the transmission being serviced. I don't see anything about any coolant exchange or flush. And I don't see anything about the differential being serviced. That last service they mentioned, they recommended doing a differential service. So it has not been done, 90,000 miles. 100%, first thing I would do if I bought this car, go get the transmission and differential serviced right away. And then of course the big one is the valley plate. In the auction, I asked the seller about, has the valley plate been inspected? And he says it had been, there's been no reports of any coolant issues and it had been inspected recently, whatever recently means, but if it were me, I would still do a pre-purchase inspection on this car and have the valley plate inspected because that's another $2,000+ you're looking at on top of brakes and tires. So finally, would I buy this car? I think if the price was right. So there's a couple things you have to know going into this. Your bid on top of the buyer's premium on Bring a Trailer. So let's say it's 40,000. So you're gonna be in it like 41.5. Brakes, tires, valley plate, carbon fiber piece, and you know, if you're going to replace that piece on the seat, which I probably would do, so let's call all of that probably around $5,000. So you're going to be in this car $46,500. to have one that's well serviced, well sorted, get the transmission service and the differential serviced on top of that. So somewhere around $46,000, $47,000 is what you're going to be in this car when it's well serviced and ready to go. And so at that point, you're competing with the cars that have like 50,000 miles. So something that has 40,000 fewer miles, if those are well sorted as well. So for me, I guess it would have to be at the right price. And for me, knowing what it needs, I would be in it probably somewhere around 40. And then of course, repair everything, replace the driver's seat bolster, and go ahead and do all the other service, the brakes, the tires, the fluids, the valley plate. It probably needs a valley plate. It is heat cycles and time. It's not necessarily mileage. So this one had it done 2 years ago, had 54,000 miles or 52,000 miles on it when it was done. My blue one had 152,000 miles on it, and it was just done a couple months ago. Both of those are 2016s. So that's kind of where I'm at with this one. I think that it has great bones. It's accident free. It's Southern driven. It's fairly well serviced, except up until recently. You know, it just kind of needs some catching up. But it needs brakes, needs tires. It's already had the 60,000 mile service done, so you're good until 120,000 miles there. But get the fluids done and then go drive it. Maybe the drive belt on top of that, because if the drive belt has not been replaced at the 60,000 mile service, I didn't see where it was, then I would probably expect to do that as well. It is 10 years old after all. So that's where I'm at for this one. I hope it brings a strong number for everybody's sake, but again, where I would be in it, somewhere around $40,000. 1073 is this one. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.